Hello friends, you are welcome to Anchor Network where you get updates of things happening around you. I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed to this channel, and if you have not subscribed, I say thank you very much because I know that at the end of this news you are going to subscribe, and I want you to press the red button and also the bell icon so that you'll be notified anytime we publish any news. Thank you very much once again. Falana has advised the federal government to replace Ruga with ranching. But before we go into the detail of what he said, there's this man called Charles Ogbu. He said, don't be deceived. Ruga suspension settlement. Don't be deceived. He said President Muhammadu Buhari just suspended the atrocious Ruga settlement plan. But don't be deceived. Buhari is an expert in subterfuge known in Islam as takia, which means deception in simple English. The idea is simple. Act like you are a listening leader by announcing the suspension of the project. Meanwhile, contractors have been fully mobilized to site and funding stream assured. Then while we sleep and snore believing the project is suspended, we will wake up to see the innocuous plan already nearing completion. If you value your life, remain vigilant, monitor your environment, watch your governors and local government chairman closely. If you see any strange activities anywhere around you in form of one kind yeye construction, sorry about that, one kind yeye construction, raise your voice. To trust President Muhammadu Buhari or any of his handlers is the worst mistake anyone can make at this perilous time. For a president who hasn't built a single school, hospital, road, network, vet clinic, market or manufacturing entity all through his 4 years in office, to suddenly choose to build all of those in designated places all over the country with public fund in advancement of the private business of the same terrorist S-men he told us were foreigners from Libya, proves that a snake is deserving of more trust than such a president. For emphasis, let me repeat, do not believe that Ruga is off the table because it is not. Suspension is an English word which means to adjourn, postpone or pause something temporary, not permanently. If you have planned a protest march, warn your governor or local government chairman against accessing the devilish plan. It is in your best interest to go ahead with your planned process and continue rejecting the evil program until it is finally taken off the table. Knowing the determination of these guys with their ethno-religious agenda, which I believe is the number one reason this man spent 12 solid years contesting for this seat, it is reasonable to suspect they only announced the suspension to buy themselves enough time to work on our governors who they will first entice with irresistible offers, which we all know some of them will accept, and for those who refuse to yield, they threaten with EFCC and their after tenure Senate dream. Remain vigilant and ignore the suspension announcement. It is a scam. Just like Fani Kayode has come to say also that nobody should believe that it's either a cancel is instead of using that word suspension, that he doesn't believe in it. And that is just what this chart has already told us, that if you think that they have already forgotten about this thing, that means we are dreaming, that we all should be awake. If you see any construction going on in your area, raise an alarm and alert your governors and all of that. And he has already explained the manner at which they might want to go, and it's not really far from the truth. And just like Femi Falana said, he said the lawyer and activist has advised the federal government to replace the suspended Ruga settlement scheme with ranching. Falana stated this while reacting to the suspension of Ruga settlement by the federal government. As far back 2016, the Buhari administration had opted for ranching. To actualize the ranching policy, 11 states had made available 55,000 acres of land. Ranching has also been adopted by the National Livestock Policy of the Buhari administration. What is now left is for the immediate implementation of the ranching program, Falana said in a statement. Falana believed Ruga was suddenly introduced from the blues by some fifth columnists in the administration. He added, Ruga should not just be suspended but cancelled completely by the federal government. It should be replaced with ranching funded by state governments and individual stakeholders with the assistance of the federal government. However, if the federal government is interested in establishing ranches in the state, it should apply for building approval from the state government, because the Supreme Court has held that physical planning is not in the exclusive legislative list. Everybody is saying the same thing, that the issue of a Ruga settlement should be abolished. And just like we were saying, that these guys, like, they have some kind of plan, because they were telling, and the thing was so loud, some days back, that people are just making noise where there is none, that they have told Nigerians that it's not compulsory, that as many states or governors that are interested should indicate interest, and people have really indicated interest. So why are other people who are not interested, why are they making noise? That is not by force. No federal government is forcing any state to to accept this rural settlement of a thing. But all of a sudden they just came up with a plan that they are suspending the whole thing. So if you really know that you are not making it a compulsory thing, and people that have indicated interest, what are they going to do? Because they are already set for the program, and you've assured them on how everything is going to go. Why can't you continue if really you don't have a serious motive, if really you don't have some kind of plan or behind you, or at the back of your mind? If really you are genuine with this plan, you would have gone ahead and you leave people that are not interested to go about their business, because some states have really indicated and said they want to go in the way of ranching. They don't believe in any Ruga settlements, and now all of a sudden you are cancelling it. That is to say there's something that these guys are really hiding. There's something the federal government is hiding. And after some hours, we heard a statement from the northern youths telling the federal government, that they are giving federal government 30-day ultimatum to implement Ruga across the country. That if they don't do, they are threatening that if they don't implement that Ruga, that they are going to show themselves, they are going to show this, the stuff they are made of. They have plans. That is to tell you that what is the thing that these guys have been fed with. That means it's a plan from the north, concerning this Ruga. If not because of that, why would the federal government just suspend it all of a sudden? And why is it that these guys are coming up to make a statement that federal government must go ahead with the program? And because the federal government, they have seen the handwriting on the wall, because they want to enforce it, they want to make it a compulsory thing, to all states. But immediately they saw the reaction of the masses, that was why they just tried to revert it, or they are calling it suspension. And meanwhile, according to Charles Ogbu, he has said, don't be deceived, and which is true. They might go back and to rework themselves, because they just threw it out and see how people are going to receive it. But immediately they saw that the reaction was not just too palatable, it was a negative reaction from the masses. They just quickly suspended it, because if really they have good intention about this program, they would have gone ahead for as many that are ready to go along along that line. Because if really you have a genuine purpose for this program, the ones that have indicated interest, they would have started it. And before you know it, if it's something that according to what they have preached, that it's going to create employment, but by so doing, if 11 states had already indicated interest, they've showed interest that they are interested, by the time they start that program and other states see that, okay, this thing is really it's going to benefit everybody, it's going to solve the problems at which the federal government has been talking about, you will see that other states will follow suit. That would have been the best thing. But for you to just suspend it, then why is it like that? And there are people, or the youth from the north are coming out to say they are giving them ultimatum 30 days. After 30 days, if you don't implement this Ruga, there's going to be a serious trouble. But let's see how it's going to go, because from their statement, they said nobody has a monopoly of inciting how will I put it, inciting war or trouble, so they can give it back to other people. So in as much they are threatening, or they are giving a kind of a statement to threaten other people, they should also believe that other people or other regions too, they have their own way of dealing with the whole issues. But if they want to go by that, at the end of the day, we hope that something drastic or something, chaotic will not happen at the end of the day. But the government, that we have put in place should make sure that, you know, they protect lives and property, because that is why we put them there, and we are paying them for that. They are not just doing it for free, they are being paid for that, and they promised, and, you know, they've sworn an oath, you know, of protecting the integrity and protect the lives of people and their property. So if they can't do that, if they cannot caution their people, because by issuing that statement, if it were to be other region or other people from, you know, from other region, you know, police would have swung into action by arresting them because they are making a statement. How can you give a federal government, you know, condition that they have to do something, if not that you know the meaning, or you understand better the meaning of that program better than the way the federal government has presented it? If not that there's something behind it that you guys know, why would you want the federal government to implement that kind of program when the federal government has said it is not compulsory? You are now saying that it has to be implemented across the country after 30 days if they don't do that. So guys, that is just my own opinion. I would like you guys to, you know, put down your opinion concerning what Falana has said, the advice he has given to Buhari, and what Charles Ogbo has said, that nobody should be deceived. Don't just go and sleep. You know, you have to be vigilant and be looking at things happening around you. So guys, put your comment down in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening. Bye.